Dear respected Thay, dear respected Sangha, today is the 7th of June 2026, and we are in the Heroic March Meditation Hall. This is the meditation hall that we've been using for the last 18 years. And very soon, we will have a new meditation hall. And today we are in this hall to celebrate another Vesak celebration. We don't know whether next year or the year after we will celebrate here or in the new hall. So it is a very memorable moment, because perhaps in the future we don't use this hall for the Buddha birthday. And we are so happy to have Thay Phap from Denmark. Thay Phap is the abbot of Liễu Quang Temple in Denmark. He come to support and to celebrate the Buddha birthday with us. Together with some friends from Denmark, they just come and to say hello to me. And also we are so happy to have our best friend for the last 18 years who helped to found EIAB, Dr. Alexander Bublik. Please, thank you so much for coming here all the way from Dog Moon. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And he's been very supportive in many legal aspects about Institute since from the beginning. I'm deeply grateful, and we don't know what will happen in a few years. He will retire. Thank you so much. And we are very honored also to have Mr. Frank Jung Johan Fenston, together with his wife, Saraswati, to be here today to celebrate the Buddha birthday with us. And there are many friends who have been a long time friend with EIAB, and also yes, Sister Samgim remind me about Professor Manfred Meiser, Kessmeyer. Is that right? Are you here somewhere? You are sitting somewhere? Yeah. Okay. He helped to design the meditation hall together with our architect. Yeah. And also a friend all the way from Munich, Eckhart. Eckhart had been very supportive to our institute for many years also. And he also come from Munich. So there are many friends coming from Aachen, Frankfurt, Darmstadt, many places. I cannot name all. But before everyone fall is, and David, oh, welcome, David, our Brad Bodhisattva. Can you believe it? Since from the beginning of EIB, after 1 or 2 years, David come, and it was very interesting story. He heard that Thay, our teacher, is establishing an institute of applied Buddhism, and he himself practicing Zen, koan. And he also reciting the Lotus Sutra very often. And one of his practice is the practice of offering, donation. So he want to support Thay, our teacher, and he tried to call us. But most of the time, he only get the answering machine. And finally, he said he called only the last time. If nobody pick up the phone, he will let it go. Luckily, one of our brothers picked up the phone, and Sister Samgim was able to see David. And that day, David come with his van. That is the delivered van for his bakery. And he he go out and he walk around the car. Sister Sangwim come and see him, but she didn't recognize that he's the one who would like to come and support us. Then they meet. You can talk about that with Sister Sangwim and David later. But I make the story short. And I didn't know, so I met David, and I bring out all the master plan of renovating EIAB, reconstruction the whole building a meditation hall and everything. I present to him. He listened very patiently to the whole project. And then finally he said that, I don't have money to give you. I don't have money to give you. But what I can give you is bread. Yeah. What I can give you is bread. And since then, he's been supporting us with bread. The bread that we are all eating coming from David. And he was so committed to his commitment that for the last almost 18 years, he offered us bread. And today, very special, like every Buddha birthday, he offered a birth cake, Buddha birth cake. You will see the birth cake later. We will cut the cake also. So it's very joyful day for all of us. And before everyone fall asleep during my Dharma talk, I would like to say that happy Vesak Buddha's birthday to everyone. So in case you fall asleep, you don't miss anything. That's all. It's done. So happy Vesak celebration. So many times when we as a practitioner, we come for a Vesak celebration, we bathe the Buddha. We practice bathing the Buddha. What does it mean by bathing the Buddha? Does the Buddha need bathing from us? And what do we do when we bathe the Buddha? What is the meaning of that? Well, according to the legend, when the Buddha was born, and when he was coming out, he was born, and according to the legend, the king of the dragon, as well as many gods from the heaven, come and help to bathe the Buddha. The king of the dragon will, pour the water onto this baby Buddha to bathe him when he come out of his mother body. And it's, according to the legend, the Buddha come by the side of his mom, not the normal way, on the side. And his mother holding on a branch and deliver him in the standing position, the Buddha coming out from the side. And he was held by the god, by the human, and the dragon king come and bathed the Buddha. It was a very wonderful moment, and the whole earth shaking, has a big earthquake vibrating throughout the whole cosmos. The earthquake, there are small degree of earthquake, and there's high degree of earthquake. And according to the Buddhist legend, when the Buddha was born, then that earthquake will vibrate throughout the whole cosmos to announce it to all living beings throughout the whole cosmos that an enlightened being is born. Another earthquake of that degree is when the Buddha get enlightenment. We break the shaking throughout the whole cosmos. And another earthquake is when the Buddha was passing into Nirvana. Then there is this great cosmic earthquake vibrating throughout the whole cosmos. Wonderful. So this tradition, this legend that the dragon king of the god come and celebrate the birth of the Buddha, Then later on, the Buddhist tradition, they have this bathing ceremony. And this bathing ceremony originates historically from more or less like China, from the 3rd to the 4th century, around that time. Around that time, they begin to have a sutra on describing how we should bathe the Buddha image, the Buddha statue, and so on. And it become a ceremony for everyone. And this bathing the Buddha remind us of this legend. Everyone to come to the bathe the Buddha. The Dragon King, the God, the human, everyone come and bathe the Buddha. Because everyone is so happy of this child. Because this child will bring a message to humanity as well as to all living beings. And what is that message that he declare when he get enlightenment? That message is that we are all Buddha. That's wonderful, isn't it? That is the message of the Buddha. The Buddha said that I have achieved Buddhahood, and you all will achieve also the Buddhahood. You have the potential to become a Buddha within you. Every one of us have this potential to become a Buddha. It's just that because we don't know, and we allow ourselves to be drowned in the cycle of suffering, lifetime after lifetime. And the message of the Buddha is that I was born as a human. I grow up as a human. I develop as an ordinary human. But I try my best. I go on a search, and I found a way. I found a way. Or I found a spiritual path. A spiritual path. I am just like every one of you, but I found this spiritual path and I walk on it. Then finally, I achieve Buddhahood. And that is the message of the Buddha. What does he declare? He declared that we have the potential to become a Buddha. And what did he declare? He declared a spiritual path. There is a path. There is a particular spiritual path. If you walk on it, then you will reach the goal, the destination. And there is this sutra called the city. The city. In this sutra, the Buddha said that I am like someone walking in the forest. And then I found a small way, like a hiking way or a walk, a path in the forest. And I travel along this path. And amazing, I come into an ancient city. For our friends who are new to our practice and institute, this is called the bell of mindfulness. The bell of mindfulness is one of the spiritual paths. The bell of mindfulness is one of the spiritual paths. If we follow that path, we will touch the true Buddha within us. How do we walk on that spiritual path of the bell of mindfulness? When we hear the bell of mindfulness, what do? We learn to come back to ourselves. We learn to drop everything. We let everything go. We come back to our in breath and out breath. Aware of my in breath, I breathe in. Aware of my out breath, I breathe out. Feeling my whole body, I breathe in. Relaxing my whole body, I breathe out. That is a spiritual path. This concept of the spiritual path is very important in Buddhism. And then it turned out to be, this spiritual path is called the Dharma. Dharma is the way, the practice, the path. And according to the Buddhism, there's 84,000 Dharma door. Dharma door. Or you can say there's 84,000 spiritual paths. There are so many paths that we can travel to reach this ancient city. In this sutra, the city, the Buddha said that I walk in the forest and I found this little way, and I go along it, and I find a beautiful ancient kingdom that has been ruined, that has been forgotten. It has been abandoned for many years. But I came, I discovered this old ancient kingdom. And what is that old ancient kingdom? That is our Buddha nature. What is that old ancient kingdom? That is our true nature, the Buddha within us. That is the ancient kingdom within each one of us. Each one of us have an ancient kingdom within us. Perhaps it's more or less the same idea, like in the Christianity, in Christian, they said that you find the kingdom within. The kingdom within. There's a kingdom within. Perhaps the Buddha also meant like that when he said he found an ancient kingdom, an ancient city in the middle of the forest. What is that forest that he's talking about? That forest is the forest of confusion. That is the forest of greed. That is the forest of anger, frustration. That is the forest of ignorance, without clarity. And that is the forest the Buddha is talking about. This ancient kingdom is in the middle of this huge forest. And we forget that kingdom within. We forget that there is a wonderful kingdom within us. The kingdom of peace, the kingdom of joy and happiness is there. The kingdom that is called the Buddha nature, of who we truly are, that is there. That is something that is inherent within us. Inherent within us. Where are we from? Where are we from? Where are we from? That we come into the earth, we experience all of our pain, sorrow, all of our stress, all of our sickness, conflict, war and violence. and then we leave this earth. Where do we all come from? Where does all of these drama, I call it the cosmic drama that manifests? The cosmic drama that manifests. Where does it all come from? The Buddha, in his enlightenment, he discovered three knowledge. Three knowledge. Three knowledge. This is a three wonderful knowledge. Three knowledge. These three knowledge is what makes the Buddha become a Buddha. These three knowledge is so precious, but it might be difficult for us to accept and to receive it. The same thing for me. It took me a long time to be able to understand these three knowledge. A long time. What is the knowledge that the Buddha discovered? What was the spiritual path that the Buddha practiced that helped him to touch, to discover these three knowledge? What is the spiritual path that the Buddha found? He found a spiritual path that's called the practice of jhana. Jhana. Jhana is the practice that the Buddha learned to return to himself. He brings his mind back to himself. During his search for enlightenment, there was a lot of idea, concept of the society at the time. There are people who believe that within us there is this Atman. This Atman. This Atman is the essence within us. The essence that it generates by itself. It doesn't need anything. It just generates by itself. And then when we pass away, this Atman will continue on and to go into the next birth. And this Atman give rise to this idea of self-causation. Self-causation. Tự sanh. In Sino-Vietnamese, tự sanh. Self-causation. That means we don't need anyone. Where do we come from? We come from this Atman. There is a force within us that continues to regenerate itself all the time. In every moment of our life, after we pass away, it continues on. It's called a permanent machine. Permanent machine. The cell is like a permanent machine that continues to reproduce itself all the time. That is one concept. Another concept that people of his time had is the concept that there is a creator God. Creator God. Where are we from? We come from some creator, the king of the universe or the king of the cosmos, the creator God, that will create us, create everything in this whole cosmos. Each one of us doesn't have any power. We are powerless. It was the creator God that created and bring us to life. That is another concept. And that's called other causation. Other causation. That means, how do we come to be here? We come to be here because there's some extreme, extraordinary supernatural God that creates us. That is the two idea. And in order to discover this Atman, people believe that we can practice fasting. Fasting. The Buddha fast to the point that his whole body become deteriorated. In his autobiography, if you are interested, there is a different sutra in the middle link discourse of the Buddha called Majjhima Nikaya, number 26, number 36, number 85. You can read about it. These are in the Bali Canon. Beautiful sutra describing in detail the search of the Buddha. The Sutra 26 is called the Noble Quest. The Noble Quest. That is the noble search for enlightenment. And how do we get in touch with this Atman? How do we discover this self? People think that, okay, our body is an obstacle that the self do not manifest and show itself to us. So what do? We destroy the body. We practice self-mortification. And the Buddha practiced self-mortification to the point that his whole body become deteriorated. The moment he touched his hand with his head, the hair falling down. And he said that the skin of his head is wrinkled up like a melon dry in the sun for many days. And he becomes so skinny that when he used his hand and he touched his spinal cord, if he touched his belly, then his hand will touch the spinal cord. And when he sit down, his pelvic bone pressed on the earth, and it pressed on the sand, the wet sand, like two big camel feet. Incredible. And the Buddha about to die. But then, when the Buddha about to die, he thought to himself, I have gone on the wrong path. I have gone on a wrong spiritual path. Denying myself, self-mortification, trying to look for a self here has been not leading to any result. And the Buddha said that in the past, in the present, and in the future, nobody will practice self-mortification to the degree that I have practiced. That means he has put himself to the extreme. When he was a prince, the Buddha enjoyed different kind of pleasure. He enjoyed different artisan, musician. He enjoyed all kind of pleasure when he was a prince. His father offered him all kind of pleasure because when he was born, there was this hermit. This hermit come from the Himalaya mountain, and he predict that one day the Buddha will become a seeker, a spiritual seeker, and he look for a spiritual path, and he will become a Buddha, and he will not become a king. So that's why his father tried to seduce him into the life, ordinary life, tried to tempt him so that he can remain in the world with all kind of pleasure. So the Buddha experienced both ends, the extreme sense of pleasure and the extreme self-mortification. When he was about to die, When he was about to die, he said that I have gone on the wrong path. And then he remembered a very beautiful image when he was a child. When he was about 8 or 9 years old or so, or 10 years old, in that spring morning, he sit underneath a tree. It's called the rose apple tree. In the springtime, it is during the time that people of his country begin the new season. So the king and all of his retinue have a ceremony to begin the harvest, the cropping season. They plow the earth. They plow the earth. The Buddha was there. He told his attendant, come and enjoy the celebration. I can be here by myself. So 8 or 9 or 10 years old, the Buddha sit there. He stayed there and he was fully present. He was fully present for that spring morning. Fully present for that spring morning. He can feel the air, he can feel the breeze, he can feel the sunshine, he can feel the tree behind him, he can feel the bird, he can feel the earth, everything around him. He's fully there. And then, being fully there, he experienced a very deep joy. A very deep joy. And this deep joy, later on, he called it the first jhana. That is the jhana. Jhana. This is a Bali word. I think I don't translate it because this practice jhana is very deep. Many people translate it as like meditation, or it can distort the meaning. It's better to leave it like in Bali. The first jhana is the practice that the Buddha is fully there in the present moment. And just this capacity of fully in the present moment, his mind sink down. All of this activity of the mind begin to come down, and we were able to enjoy a deep sense of peace and calm. And before he passed away, because his body was so deteriorated, he remembered this incident. And he said, oh, why am I afraid of such a simple pleasure? What is that simple pleasure? That simple pleasure is this calm and peacefulness. That's what he means by simple pleasure. The calm and the peacefulness of fully being there. And that's called the simple pleasure. When we are fully there, in the present moment, then there comes this wonderful feeling, this wonderful happiness. When I was in Plum Village, I trained myself with this first jhana. In Plum Village, we have a lazy day. A lazy day. A lazy day is the day in which we don't have any Sangha activity, except for cooking and very, But in the early day of Plum Village, because we are so small, lazy day, we don't even have to cook. Each one can cook for himself. So on the morning of the lazy day, you know what I do? I set out the time from 9 to 12 in the morning. I don't do anything. I just sit there by my window and watch the cloud. I just sit there, look outside my window, and I see the cloud, I see the sunshine. There's day that I see the rain, the wind, like today, cloudy day. But my commitment is every Monday, when we have the lazy day, I just sit there for 3 hours, doing nothing. Doing nothing. Don't get myself busy in any kind of work. Just being there. Sit, watching the cloud, enjoy that present moment. But at that time, I did not fully understand that is the first jhana. It took me many years to practice, to understand the Buddha's search in order to fully appreciate what I have done. The practice of jhana, the Buddha discovered, is the practice of returning to ourselves. During the time of his search, the Buddha has some teacher, and his teacher teach certain type of meditative state. For example, there is a meditative state called nothingness. 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 Nothingness is an idea. That means the whole cosmos is nothing. It's complete nothing. It's only an idea. It's just a speculation. It is a philosophical speculation, metaphysical speculation. That the whole world is nothingness. And it's an idea, and you try to embody that in your meditation. So you just sit, you contemplate it, and you feel it. You put your mind on it. You put your mind on this idea long enough, then the mind do a magic. Our mind is wonderful. Our mind is a magician. When you put your mind long enough to a certain thing, then magic happens. And now you see all kind of magic around the world, with all kind of technological advance. That is the magic of the mind. Because we focus the mind long enough onto a certain things, then it begins to create magic. The mind is a magician. So, in the meditation, when we focus the mind on this idea that the whole world is nothingness, then the mind begins to perform magic, and we really feel it. It is nothingness. We feel it, we experience it as if it is reality. And then we forget everything, because everything is nothing. The whole cosmos is nothing. So all of your suffering is nothing, all of your pain and sorrow, anything. Your wife is nothing, your partner is nothing, your children is nothing. You enjoy this nothingness. But then when you get out of the meditation, your wife is there, your children is there, and all the conflict that you have is there. So it's not really nothingness. The Buddha experienced this very high degree of focused attention of the mind. Yeah? It's not easy to achieve this kind of deep concentration. It's not easy. And then He come and report to his teacher. The teacher that, oh, congratulations. Stay here with me and teach the student. The Buddha said, no. After I come out of this meditative state, all of the problems come back. I still feel sad. I still feel all kind of these unwholesome emotion within me. Fear, anxiety, and everything. It's not the thing that I'm looking for. What I'm looking for is something called the ultimate nirvana. That means the ultimate peace. Ultimate peace. So he went to another teacher. And the story again, this time is another meditative state called neither perception nor non-perception. But from this experience, what the Buddha learned is that our mind has a wonderful quality. The mind can transform the reality. When the mind is there for something, it begins to transform. Then the innovation of the meditation technology of the Buddha, you can call it the innovation, meditative innovation of the Buddha, is that instead of focusing on a speculative idea about reality, instead of focus your mind on a speculative idea about reality, you focus on the reality itself. Not an idea about reality, but facing the reality as it is. As it is. So the body turned his mind back, and he looked at his body and his mind as a reality, and look at that reality as it is. What happening to my body? What happening to my mind? He put the mind into that, and amazing, he discovered this jhana. It includes 4 steps. We don't have time to go into here. If you like, please come to one of my courses. This advertisement for my meditation course. No, I'm just kidding. Sometimes you come to my meditation course, I will talk something else. So, don't believe me. Anyway, the Buddha turned the mind back. And the mind come shining down on his body and his mind. And amazingly, the Buddha was able to reach this ultimate nirvana. And this practice, I call it the practice of sinking in. The practice of jhana is the practice of sinking in, bringing the mind back and allowing the mind to sink deeper and deeper into ourselves. And then when the mind sinking deeper into ourselves, the body, our body and our mental state begin to open itself up, begin to expose all of the mechanism within our body and our mind. We begin to fully understand who we are and where we come from. So in that night of enlightenment, the Buddha attained 3 knowledge. The first knowledge is that the Buddha was able to remember all of his past life. Incredible. He said that I was able to remember 1 life. I remember 5 lives, 10 lives, 100 lives, 100,000 lives. All my infinite life in the infinite cosmic cycle. Wow. When I first read it in the Bali Canon, I couldn't believe it. And that happened in the first watch of the night. The first watch of the night could be from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m., 3 hours, from 9 a.m. 9 p.m. to midnight. That is some people count like that. Some people count the first watch of the night is from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. So depend on the different counting. So in the first watch of the night, only 3 to 4 hours, the Buddha was able to remember all of his past life, infinite past life in infinite cosmic cycle. Incredible. How can you believe such a statement? It took me some years. And then the time is running out, so I don't have much time to go into these little details. It's very interesting, and I enjoy it very much. But we still need to have the ceremony before bathing the Buddha. So, and from this discovery, the Buddha proclaimed a principle. A principle is called the principle of manifestation. The principle of manifestation is like this. When the conditions are sufficient, things manifest. When the conditions are not sufficient, things cease to manifest. All of these previous life manifest according to the condition. When the conditions are sufficient, one of his previous life will manifest. And where does it manifest from? It manifests from this web of being. This web of being. This wonderful web. This web is called the web of internet. Internet is a net in which at each eyes of the net there's jewel. This is an image from the Avatamsaka Sutra. And at the end of this year, Thay Phap will lead a recitation week or so for reciting the Avatamsaka Sutra. And at night, I will give a teaching on the Avatamsaka Sutra for 6 or 7 days. Yeah. And in this internet, each of the jewel reflect the image of the other jewel. So all of the jewel is reflect in this particular jewel. And also this particular jewel is reflected in all of these other jewels. So you can see this intranet is very wonderful, amazingly reflecting and again, multiple reflection. And that web of being, that web of internet is the ground from which all of us come from. I don't have time to explain in detail about it here. And then the Buddha discovered, and we can think of this first knowledge, the principle of manifestation, the first knowledge. The first knowledge, you can think of it like rain falling down from the cloud, from the sky. Different kind of cloud raining down. So here there's a rain in Germany. It will be a different kind of rain from Vietnam, for example. We have icy rain sometimes. But in Vietnam, you have tropical rain. When the conditions are sufficient, things manifest. like rain falling down from the sky. Different kind of rain. And then he discovered the second knowledge. The second knowledge is that this rain, this water coming down, and what this water coming down, and it will form the river and stream. It forms river and a stream. All of the rain falling down, when the conditions are sufficient, things manifest, yes. But all of these manifestations begin to collect itself into certain type of structure, into a certain type of living being, certain type of living stream. And we are one of those living streams. You can think of this image like rain falling down the sky, and it collects the water into the Rhine River in Germany. But it will collect to a river called Hồng Hà in Vietnam. Hồng Hà is a very long river in the north of Vietnam. Or Cửu Long is the river on the south of Vietnam. So the rain coming down, yes, but it will collect itself into a different structure, different river. We come from this principle of manifestation, yes. But after billion of years, all of these conditions come and create this structure. And this structure is a living stream. And we are a living stream. Our true nature is the nature of true emptiness. The same thing is the nature of the river. The true nature of the river is the nature of true emptiness. That means inside the river, you cannot pinpoint and to say, this is Rhine, this is Cửu Long, this is Hoàng Hà, for example. This is Yangtze, this is Ganges River, or Donau. We cannot put a finger down and we say, this is Donau, or this is Rhine. And its true nature is called the nature of true emptiness. Even though it's true emptiness, but there's a structure. We also like that. Believe it or not, we have infinite rebirth. We are a stream of living being. And this structure will continue on. The Rhine River continue on. Year after year. Somebody told me that the Rhine River has been there for 10,000 years. Even though every moment, the water inside, the sand inside, the plant inside that Rhine River is changing, but that Rhine River has been there for 10,000 years. The same thing, believe it or not, someone named Claudia or John or Anna is a cosmic structure. You have been there from beginningless of time. You go through this lifetime, and you will continue on into infinite future. It's no end. And that is the wisdom of the Buddha. We don't see it yet, but it is so. Whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not, it is so. And then the third knowledge is these streams don't know these two principles. Because they don't know these two principles, that's why there come the principle of suffering. And this principle of suffering concerning the principle of accumulation. Of accumulation. Accumulation. All of these are very interesting. It can take a few hours to explain. For now, we just make it simple. And the Buddha discovered that this web here, this internet, that web there, is the web, the foundation for all kind of accumulation, all kind of structure, all kind of things. And then when we can practice to sink into the present moment, we learn to be there, to be fully there for whatever is coming up from this web, but do not move along with these accumulation. We do not produce more accumulation. All of the accumulation that has been there from the past will be resolved, will be discharged. All of the suffering that has been produced because of ignorance, because of unknowing, this forest that we talked about at the beginning, this forest that we talked about from the beginning are these accumulation. They become a forest. They become a forest. And among that forest, luckily, there is a path. The Buddha discovered a path, a spiritual path. He discovered a path. What is that path? There are 84,000 paths. Among that, one of the paths that is very important is the path of learning to be in the present moment. To be fully in the present moment. To be fully in the present moment is to be there for this web of internet, completely available, completely there, fully present for what has happened. And this energy of fully present, completely there, have the capacity to transform all of this accumulation and help us to return to the internet. This internet is called the Dharma body. It's called the true Buddha's body. And what is this internet? This internet is the net that spread out in the whole cosmos. All existence in the whole cosmos belong to this internet. Each of the existence in the whole cosmos is one of the jewels. One of the jewels in this internet. Phap is here, for example. Sister Song is here. Another jewel. Sister Trang Quyền Diệu is here, for example. Trang Quyền Diệu. The three versions of the stage today. And Thay Phap is another jewel. Our dearest Dr. Alexander Bublik is another jewel. Our dearest Frank and Saraswati, each are another jewel. When we come back to this present moment, this energy of present moment carry with it an infinite energy of love and compassion. And it's also in carrying it the infinite capacity, the infinite energy of wisdom. And when we come back to this present moment, fully there, first, the energy of compassion will help to embrace all of the manifestation with love and compassion, transforming them, calming them down, and help them to return to this internet. And that is the spiritual path that I would like to share with you today. There are another 83,000 we shared another time. But at least today, we learn one. One spiritual path. That is learning to be in the present moment. Whatever we do, we raise the hand and we know that we are raising the hand. We walk, then we know that we are walking. We stand, and we know that we are standing. Everything that we do, we know that we are doing. When we bathe the Buddha, we know fully that we are bathing the Buddha. We feel the handle, we feel the energy, we feel the whole environment, and we bathe it. Our mind is fully there. The moment we bathe the Buddha, and our mind can be fully there, we can truly be in touch with the ever-present Buddha. The ever-present Buddha is this internet, this heaven, this ever-present Buddha is the Dharma body. That is who we are, who we come from. And this practice is called meeting the Buddha face to face in the present moment. And it is a spiritual path that each one of us can learn, can do, and can rediscover the true Buddha within us. And that is the meaning for the Vesak celebration today. Discover the true Buddha within every one of us in every moment of our life. And then if we can do that, the day the time come, and we say, this is my in-breath, and this is my last out-breath. There will be no more in-breath. You can sink into this present moment peacefully, and you reach the ultimate nirvana. That's what the Buddha discovered. The ultimate nirvana you might lie there or sitting there. Perhaps around you there are friends. Perhaps around you there are beloved ones. Or perhaps you are there in the hospital by yourself. Or perhaps you are there in the middle of accident. Nobody that you love is around you. Nobody. But you are always in the present moment. You breathe in and you know that you are breathing in. You breathe in out and you smile. This is my last out breath. And you sink into this perfect stillness, perfect peace of the ever-present Buddha, of the present moment. And that is our practice. Happy Vesak celebration to everyone. We are here for the ceremony. And for our friend who come here for the course on spiritual path, this morning you learn another path. That is the path of the present moment. As I promised, I talk about the Buddha birthday, and I also talk about another spiritual path for you. Okay, and all the best to all of our friends on the course spiritual path. Enjoy the present moment. Enjoy the face of the Buddha in the present moment, and all the best. And for our friends who are here for the Vesak celebration, thank you again for coming to be with us for this wonderful occasion. I'm so happy to see everyone, and we wish that everyone a very wonderful celebration together. And we now listen to 3 sound the bell to end the Dharma talk. And thank you very much for your attention. please massage your leg for a moment. And we would like to invite Sister Songim to come up to announce about the program for the Sangha and things that the Sangha should know, and so on.
Ja, verehrte Thay, verehrte Sangha, und jetzt, wir möchten euch bitten, nach dem Klang der Glocke, dass wir stehen und so schnell wie möglich die Meditation Halle verlassen, damit wir wieder organisieren für die Zeremonie. Und wenn, bleibt nicht hier, damit wir genug sagen, nur wer uns kennt, der bleibt. Die anderen gehen dahin, damit wir aufräumen können. Und bitte nehmt alle eure Besitz mit. Ja, wir räumen dann auf. Und wenn die Glocke ertönt, bitte sofort hierher kommen. Ja, nicht warten. Und wenn ihr kommt, vielleicht, wir teilen in zwei die Schuhe draußen, denn wir werden hier in Prozession zum Stupa gehen. Und auf dieser Seite hier, nächste zu der Bühne, dann sitzen die Damen und an der anderen Tür sitzen die Männer. Das heißt, wenn ihr kommt, eure Schuhe von den Männern anderen Tür und Schuhe für die Damen hier. Ja? Und ihr kommt ohne Schuhe rein und dann, wenn ihr rauskommt, mit Schuhen. Ja? Hoffentlich ihr findet eure Schuhe und kommen so schnell wie möglich wieder zurück, damit wir so schnell wie möglich die Zeremonie mit dem Buddha-Baden beginnen können. Ja? Und eine Annonce für unsere vietnamesischen Leute. Con kính thưa quý bác, quý anh chị, là chúng con kính xin quý bác, quý anh chị đó, mình dễ dàng nói chuyện với nhau. Thành ra xin quý bác, quý anh chị phụ giúp các thầy, các sư cô sắp xếp. Nếu mà các quý bác, quý anh chị có giúp được thì ráng giúp quý thầy, quý sư cô ở trong nhà bếp cũng như ở ngoài. Dạ, con kính xin cảm ơn.
So now with the next small sound of the bell, we will stand up. So when we stand up, we stand behind our mat. And we join the palm like this. This is the mind and this is the body. We bring the body and the mind together and we bring this unification into our heart. Yeah. And we turn to the Buddha. And that is the direction of compassion. This direction includes the Buddha, Jesus Christ, all enlightened beings, all of the enlightened patriarchs, our beloved teacher Thay, as well as all spiritual teachers in different lineage, different tradition of the past, present, and future. And we turn to the nature, this beautiful manifestation from the internet, and we bow to this internet, our ground of being. Thank you. We practice the noble silence in the hall so that we can maintain this calm and peaceful energy. We only talk